Welcome to the early release of the Madden 24 franchise. I'm Charger295 and I'm relocating the Los Angeles Chargers to San Diego. No longer in SoFi Stadium. We're going to get the San Diego Chargers now, and the best looking stadium to the one of the old Qualcomm back less than a decade ago. Yes, very laid back city, and while there aren't any close matches, the basic traditional stadium is the one that we're going to go with right here. It is one of the cheapest too. The Charger owner is in love with that. Some thoughts: even though it's small, the parking in the stadium is pretty new. Thanks, Sherlock. Even though it's made from cheap materials, the seating in the stadium is pretty new. Wow, I thought it was pretty old. And even though it is small, the team store in the stadium is very new. What a surprise. This is a cheap build for the San Diego Chargers. Jonathan Coachman, the Chargers love the community of LA, do they? That fan base has been devastated. Let's check out the team in training camp. We begin with target passing, and I just am not a big fan of the targets, and it doesn't mean that Herbert is any less accurate. It's just, here's a look at some of those that did actually hit the target, but it's just really awkward and weird in my opinion. But it is what it is. We wound up failing. Let's work out the running back position with Austin Eckler. And he was fantastic going into the 2023 season. We'll see how he fares this year in San Diego. Rushing touchdown for him. We wound up getting gold in the rushing attack. It feels a lot like the Madden 04 game. Quentin Johnston is the first-round draft pick for San Diego for 2023. Here is the former TCU Horned Frog going deep past J.C. Jackson. 500 points for Johnston. And now, defensively, Joey Bosa will get a chance to improve on his skills. Not a huge fan of this either. It's okay, I guess. But, in the old Maddens, they'll have to get by one, maybe two. But evading all five is a little strange. It took a while to get it to the quarterback, but I finally do right here with 6.5 on the sack timer. We're on to the kicking drill now. This is Dicker the kicker, who seems to be underrated. He's 73 overall. Not a big fan of that. Coffin corner with J.K. Scott, the former Crimson Tide punter of Alabama, and he'll try and pin this one deep. As you can see, it took me 8 tries, but I finally did it. There is a Coffin corner out of bounds at the 2, but I fell 50 points short of the bronze. So we are live in the preseason for the San Diego Chargers. I made one addition. This is the rosters before the week 1 of the real NFL preseason, so Dalvin Cook was available. Let's check out the preseason and the debut of the basic traditional stadium, the closest lookalike to Qualcomm. It's the New Orleans Saints with Derek Carr and Justin Herbert and the now San Diego Superchargers. So we lost game 1 of the preseason to the Rams on the road. We'll have a chance to win our first against New Orleans. And here are the Chargers coming out of that far end zone, led by Justin Herbert. It's the Saints and the Chargers in Sunday night preseason primetime. First pass in the stadium, and it is complete to Keenan Allen, who is actually the last remaining player of the San Diego Chargers. Herbert makes a bad decision here, and by Herbert I mean me. It took me about a game or two to get adjusted, and New Orleans would take advantage. Michael Thomas, a brilliant catch on the sideline leading to this score, and Johnson then takes a fly over the fullback for the score. But the Chargers would bounce back. There is the new acquisition, Dalvin Cook, for the touchdown to tie the ball game in San Diego. Dalvin, it's amazing he was, as a 4-time Pro Bowler, free agent this long. The camera crew was just amazed by how good Dalvin Cook was on that play. A couple of them. Don't get me out of my shot, man. Cook for the touchdown. 13-7 in the second quarter. Herbert throws his second pick of the preseason. He played the entire first half, and it is a pick 6. Herbert couldn't bring him down despite his best efforts. Paulson Abedo. So that'll do it for the preseason for San Diego. The stadium looks all right because it's basic and traditional. That is great news for the owner of the San Diego Chargers. We finish in a tie, no overtimes in the preseason. So our cheap owner has an opportunity to save some of his precious money, I guess. So we finished 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie in the preseason and had to cut 22 players prior to the opener. Josh Harris was an easy decision. 43 overall. I can't even believe they have guys that low. And then our coaching tree needs to be filled up a little bit, so we head over to the offense. And the 2 picks scare me with Justin Herbert, so let's add some route running to the wide receivers before we begin the regular season. Our next episode is a Week 1 San Diego Chargers franchise season opener. We'll get a chance to see Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come to town in the traditional stadium. The Chargers will try and finally win the ultimate prize of the Super Bowl, and we begin that journey against Tyreek Hill and Miami. May the San Diego Chargers begin their road to the Super Bowl tomorrow.